Everyone else is complaining. Oh, it's so gray out. I hate this weather. I just want the sun to come back. And you're sitting there, looking out the same window, at the same sky, and feeling something completely different. Something that feels embarrassingly close to happiness. You don't say that out loud, because how do you explain to someone that the clouds make you feel safe? That the gray light through the window is somehow more beautiful to you than a perfect blue sky? That on days like this, something in you finally, quietly settles. You can't explain it, so you don't. But today, someone is going to explain it for you. Here's a day most people would call miserable. The sky is the color of an old sweater, soft, heavy, uniformly gray. No dramatic storm, no rain yet, just the promise of it. The light in your room is dim and even, making every edge in the world go a little softer. And you wake up, and before the tasks and the worries and the calendar rush in, you feel it, a kind of permission, like the world outside decided to slow down, and now you can too. You make something warm to drink. You sit by the window. You watch the clouds move, heavy and purposeful and unhurried, and something inside your chest unclenches that you didn't even realize was tight. You are, inexplicably, at your most alive on a day most people can't wait to end. And you almost feel sorry for them because they're missing something you can't quite put into words. So what is that something? What is actually happening inside you on days like this? There's a state your mind enters when the environment around you stops demanding things from you. No urgent input, no brightness pulling at your attention, no performative cheerfulness you feel pressure to match. Your nervous system, in those moments, can finally exhale. And here's what most people never realize about sunlight, beautiful, life-giving sunlight. It is stimulating. Neurologically, brightness activates. It signals your brain, be awake, be outward, be productive, be on. Cloudy days do the opposite. The light is soft and diffuse. The contrast of the world turns down a few notches. And for certain people wired for deep feeling and rich inner lives, that shift in the environment creates a shift in the mind. The outside world finally matches the inside one.
And that alignment, that rare, effortless match between your inner state and your outer environment is one of the most quietly profound things a human being can experience. For you, cloudy days aren't a mood killer, they're a mood mirror. Now pause for a second and think about this. What do you actually do on cloudy days? Most people who love gray weather report the same things, almost word for word, without ever having met each other. They read, they write, they think, really think, not just problem solve. They feel things they normally push past. They have conversations that go deeper than usual. They create things. They remember things. They sit with themselves without discomfort. That is not a coincidence. There is a reason that some of the most profound literature, music, and art in human history came from gray, cold, rain-soaked places. There is a reason the most emotionally textured creative work rarely gets made on a perfect summer afternoon. Depth requires a certain kind of quiet, and clouds are the sky's way of offering it. But here's something nobody talks about, the part that runs even deeper than mood or creativity. People who love cloudy days are often people who are deeply comfortable with complexity. Think about what a cloudy sky actually is. It is not happy, it is not sad, it is not threatening, it is not peaceful. It is all of those things held together at once, ambiguous, layered, beautiful in a way that doesn't announce itself. And people who are drawn to that kind of beauty, they tend to be drawn to that kind of emotional truth in everything. They don't trust things that are too bright, too simple, too relentlessly positive. Not because they're pessimists, but because they know, somewhere in their bones, that real life looks more like a cloudy sky than a postcard sunset. Real love has gray in it. Real joy has weight in it. Real peace is not the absence of difficulty, it's the ability to sit inside complexity without needing it to resolve. Cloudy day people understand this without being taught it. They feel it every time they look up.
Here's where the real twist lives, though, and I want you to sit with this one. The world has spent a long time telling you that your preference is a symptom, that loving gray skies means you're sad, that finding peace in dim light means something is wrong with your mood, that you should want the sunshine like everyone else, and if you don't, maybe you should talk to someone about that. And some of you, quietly, privately, started to believe it. You wondered if your love of overcast mornings was really just depression wearing a poetic costume. You wondered if the peace you felt on gray days was actually numbness. You questioned whether the version of you that comes alive in the quiet and the clouds was the real you, or just the avoidant you. And here is what I want to say to that, as clearly and as directly as I can. Sensitivity is not sickness. Depth is not damage. Finding beauty in what others overlook is not a malfunction. It is, in fact, one of the rarest and most human things a person can do. Now, and this matters, if the gray days are the only days you feel anything, that is worth paying attention to. If the clouds have become a place to hide rather than a place to breathe, that is a different conversation, and an honest one worth having with yourself. But loving the rain, feeling more yourself on a dim Tuesday than a bright Saturday, choosing the window seat on a stormy afternoon and feeling something that can only be described as grateful, that is not a problem. That is a personality. There's a word used in certain cultures, particularly in Japan and Portugal, for a feeling that has no clean English translation. It is the tender, bittersweet ache of loving something impermanent, of finding beauty in the melancholy, of feeling most deeply alive not in moments of triumph, but in moments of quiet, passing beauty. The Portuguese call it saudade. The Japanese feel it in the falling of cherry blossoms, beautiful precisely because they don't last. Cloudy day people live inside that feeling naturally. You don't need a word for it. You've always known it. You feel it every time the light goes soft and the world slows down, and something in you recognizes this right here, as what it actually feels like to be alive. So here is where we land. You are not sad because you love the gray. You are not broken because the sun exhausts you. You are not missing out because a perfect blue sky does less for your soul than a heavy, cloud-filled afternoon that smells like rain. You are someone who processes the world deeply, someone whose inner life is rich enough that it needs a quiet outer world to breathe in, someone who finds truth in complexity, beauty in ambiguity, and rest in the kind of light that doesn't demand anything from you. The world needs more people who can sit inside the gray without panicking, who can find something worth loving in the imperfect, the unresolved, the softly lit and unhurried. The world needs people like you. So the next time the clouds roll in and everyone around you groans, let them, and then turn back to your window and breathe.